Oh, yeah?
Yes. Welcome back to Myst. We are in the Channelwood Age. This is one of my favorites, actually. I just feel it's most distinctly different from the rest. And also one of the easiest in terms of puzzles, so I'm honestly curious as to what randomization is going to do here. I don't know what it could do, really, to make it different. But, as we did before, let's go ahead and get our bearings straight. So this is basically a bunch of docks leading to several elevators. We have one here, one all the way over here, and we have a pipe that's not connected here. We've got a pipe that runs along the docks in various directions, and then a lever which changes the flow. And since it all seems to be off, perhaps we should deal with that first. And there's a third elevator right over there with some stairs. We need to get up there. You can see some walkways. This is the land of the tree dwellers. They be read in the journal. Let's have a look up here. Well, I hear the water coming from the sea. I don't know what this does. It seems to stop it for a second, but even in the original game, it never seemed to do anything, so whatever. You hit that. And now water's flowing. You can hear it in the pipes. And so, what we're going to need to do here is change the flow of the water to various things. Let's go this way. And then we'll go this way. Nothing different about this puzzle so far. And this leads us to something which is now on because we've given it the power of magic water. Look at that. Allows a bridge to activate. If we follow this down, this takes us to an elevator, which if we look up goes nowhere except to one building up there. Small spoiler, that's our way out. But we don't want to leave because we haven't gotten the red and blue page. Also, we can't provide water to it right now because this pipe is not there. But now it is. So, we need to get upstairs. Up ladder? So, let's, how do we want to do this here? Let's change the flow here. We want this way. This way is good. It's leading right to here. Alright. Let's close the door. And head up. There's very little to do in this age. It's actually quite simple. It's fairly sizable, but it's funny when you think about it. When we're up here, there's only one thing we need to do. However, we are in the land of the tree dwellers, and if you want to look around and see some of their bits and things that they've left, you can do that. But we have the same situation here as with Emmett, Branch, and Will. They're not here. So what the hell is going on? Where is everyone that Atrus is mentioning in his journals? So you can spend a lot of time looking at all these huts if you wish, but ultimately, I'll show you the one thing that we're supposed to be doing, which is, if you look over to this other elevator, you see a line coming over here, and there's a switch right here that opens up a door. So let's go see what we've done. Let's go see. I do like the Channelwood Age as well, because I think for the first time it really does start to give you a bigger picture of what's happening with Cirrus and Achenar. So let's so we've opened this door, which allows us to get down with some stairs. And we have another elevator, which doesn't have any power, which continues further up. So we need to provide power to this elevator. So, down we go. That's all we had to do up there. Hit that one switch. Oh! So dizzy. And so far, there's been no puzzle randomization here. But like I said, I was curious as to how they would change it in here, because all it is levers. So there may be nothing different with this age, which is kind of a bummer. Alright. As always, the Myst games require you to close the doors before pressing the switches. I'm sipping some coffee. What are you doing? Oh, so good. All right. Well, let's go over here. We are now in the highest reaches of the Sage. And obviously a much different building than the huts we've been seeing. Huh. Another lavish bedroom. Also containing another page. So some connections you should be making here, if you haven't played this game before, is we keep finding red pages for Cirrus's book in lavish bedrooms. That's because these are Cirrus's bedrooms in each of the ages. And his book on Myst Island, his prison book, contains a picture of a jewel on it, indicating his lust for riches, as we see, with his lots of bottles of wine and jewelry everywhere and a super nice bed. Something happened here. In a fit of rage, he smashed his furniture. But this is also a very important note. We're going to find a second half later. It says something about vault access, something maybe understand of Myst. Something in the very plain view on Myst, and access can be easily, if the simple followed. First, locate switches on the island. Of these switches go to the dock, marker switch to off position. This is actually a very important note. We'll find another one later. And that will tell us how to do something. So, before we talk more about the brothers, let's head over here Because if we're discovering that those lavish bedrooms are Cirrus's, then perhaps the barbaric bedrooms are Akinar's. And here we have Akinar speaking in some sort of guttural, probably tree dweller language, including some sort of trap, so I guess he's maybe issuing a warning or a threat in their language. But that's not his room, actually. That's just a warning before we get to his room. And here we have his page, where he's been making weapons. And so this is where he can select messages to play over there. And finally, if we press the fourth one,
I hope I pushed the right button, my dear brother. What a very interesting device you have for you. I'm not erasing anything important in that. Remember, he is preparing. Take only one page, my dear brother.
So yes, the boys are up to no good. So, if you remember the Channelwood Journal, Atrus talked about how the boys were fascinated with this age and wanted to stay behind, and maybe the boys' intentions were good initially, but they started to take advantage of the praise and gifts that the tree dwellers placed upon them. And it seems like it began to corrupt them, and they began to lust for power and riches, and, well, specifically with Cirrus, and Akinar had more brutal ambitions. But, yeah, they basically took over this age, built their, their bedrooms high above everyone else, and basically considered themselves gods to the monkey people. And it looks like they wiped them out, because there's no one here. They're all gone. And we found the same bedrooms on Stone Ship. Why they wanted Stone Ship, I'm not exactly sure, but if you read the journal again, it mentions that they had found a large store of gold, because Atrus says that there were things made around the island in gold. So perhaps they wanted the gold, or were looking for gold, because you saw maps and navigation equipment in Akinar's room. We're done here, so I just need to switch some of the water pipes to go back to the elevator at the end and get out of here. So yeah, we're going to find their presence in these ages that were not burned. So maybe they left these ages specifically because they had, centers of power at these ones. And they destroyed all of the remaining worlds. So, they're good guys. Here we go. No, that's not what we want. We want to go over the Where are we going? Hold on here. We want this way, and this way, and then this way. And that should go, yeah, okay. Now we're good to head there. And we'll find even more evidence to support all that as we continue. But suffice it to say that at this point you should realize that both of the brothers are total pieces of shit. And Atrus was right to trap both of them. But, of course, that's what we see on the surface. It is possible that maybe one of them was framed or, you know. So still all we can do is just keep returning the pages to them. We're going to talk at them. Or we're not, they are. We still have 2 more ages to go to, so they'll have plenty of more time to bitch and ask us for more pages. And we still don't know where Catherine and Atrus are. So yeah, you see Cyrus's book has a jewel on it, indicating his lust for riches, whereas he has swords on his, because he's much more brutally inclined, you know?
Have returned. Additional page. From my prison on this forgotten island of Myst. I see that you are. I am called Cyrus. I need all the red pages I need. You must search. Bring me. 2 more of the red pages. And I am released. I promise. Warn you, don't touch the blue pages. Where my brother, wicked brother, he is a man of distorted mind and senses. He disgusts me. Do not release me. Thirst for destruction is none. Never ending. Bring the red paper. I beg you, please, release me from this prison. I promise you will be greatly rewarded. You must help me. I beg you to help me.
So, now, I mean, yeah, they keep telling us not to release the other one. So, it is possible. 2 different things are possible. They could be a ploy. You know, get you to trust one and not the other. Or they are working together.
You're back. Blue pages you brought for me. Oh, I must have some more. I ask of you. No. Since my brother, Cyrus, wrongfully imprisoned me within this book. Stupid scheme. Pretty speech has been. Read which is endless. Be perfectly obvious to you. Evil destroy all but 4. Bring the red pages to him. You must not let him trick you. Tricked our father. Hideously murdered our father. He'll trick you. He'll murder you. Don't touch the red pages. You to bring the blue pages. Listen to me. Listen. You must obey me. Blue pages are my only hope. You must help me. You must help me.
See, now that's different. Now he's saying that Cirrus has actually murdered Atrus. Which would possibly explain why we haven't found Atrus. So that's a new problem. Well, why don't we go ahead and collect more pages so we can see. Now the next 2 remaining ages, the order that you do them in are going to determine how difficult one of them is going to be, because one of them contains clues that will be helpful in the other one. So in the interest of making it easier, we're going to be doing this one, the cogwheel one, first before we go to the rocket ship. And I'll explain why when we get to that particular instance. But we're going to do this one next. So let's go up the tower and get our clue. And move on! Yes. So we have 920 and 223. Okay. Let's go back down. So if you remember the end of the island where we found that little building floating on the gear, there was a clock above it. We already found that console, so it looks like that's telling us the time we need to put is 9:20. But then we also have 223. So this needs to be 9:20. Oops. All right, what's going on? Is that not 9:20? It appears to be. Oh, I need to push the button. Fucking idiot. Ooh. And now finally we can hit this last marker switch. Okay, now we found that 223. So, the way this thing works is every time you press this, 2 cogs move, the middle and the bottom. If you press this one, the top 2 move. We have to get this to say 2, 2, 3 all the way down. Every time you move this, this little weight continues to drop. When it hits the bottom, you have no more moves. And then you press this to reset it. Another move you can do is if you press and hold it, it will move 2. But if you hold it, yeah, like that. So, if you press and hold it, it'll move 2 wheels, and then one of them will just rotate. So, go like that, and then like this. There we go. 2, 2, 3. It's a little confusing to explain, but we got it. But what did that do? If we head up to the gear over here, we're going to find that the gear has rotated and now it's open. And we can move on to the next stage. So of course that means, let's read the fucking journal before we go. This is going to be Mechanical Age. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and gray and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He is very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills, which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. The people had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. The people grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day, the usually sunny sky became as dark as night, and black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout post's attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries there were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away. The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden and managed to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He also said that it was rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I've decided since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save this civilization and stop this enemy's plan of destruction. I'm excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today and have begun work on a plan for protection. After a short absence, I've returned to this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it's already obvious to me that they will be a great help this time, instead of the nuisance they've been in the past. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We're building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I'm very pleased with their intelligence, and their creativity is refreshing to see as they work on some small projects of their own. Yeah, I fucking bet they were. It's been over 4 months now, and my construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky, and tell me many times they wish the sky here were like the blue sky in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It's been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the 3 hills, which are now the only islands due to a rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I have designed a most intriguing device. It makes use of a technology called holography I began experimenting with on my visits to Aspermere. It will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust the fortress will provide sufficient protection for all of us. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. Their weapons have been stopped, and it appears that they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched the boats leave. And we have a little picture of the flag of the insignia. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that a blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I've had a healthy adventure and have begun work on a new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar age in search of a new universe I have begun. But first, I will have an extended time with Catherine, whom I miss very much. I must also return to the people of the Tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to Mechanical Age one day and find the population growing and my fortress still strong. Though the sky may always be black, I am confident the people here feel a heavier darkness has been lifted from their shoulders. And there we go. A relatively short journal compared. The journals in these games get longer and longer, man. Like, some of them take 15 fucking minutes to read. It's nuts. Alright. And here we go. Let's hop in.
Oh, yeah.
The Mechanical Age. And here we are. But of course, we will explore this age next episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you next time. You stay safe out there and have a good day. I'm recording this in the fucking morning, man. This isn't even nighttime. What's this world coming to? Peace out. I'll see you soon.